say 16 drivers in a 90?
I think we're there.
I think tomorrow's lead and chase, top 32, is going to be incredible because everyone seems to have dialed that lead line in. We go back to the line to this man from Japan. It is Naoki Nakamura off the line, 43 years of age, one of the oldest drivers on the grid, but that doesn't scare him because look at the line. Nakamura fires that car in. Oh my God, Nakamura is not messing around. Look at the line, that first outside zone, this GR86 as he flicks it to an angle. Will he flirt with this wall? Of course he will. As Nakamura puts the car right where it needs to be. Oh! He jumps it! Nakamura is not messing around! Look at the angle from the Japanese driver! That was insane!
Oh, that was fun. That's just old school, old-fashioned drifting fun. I had a grin the whole time. That was so sick. Nakamura, I mean, you cannot count this guy out, ever. Look at this. Just so solid all the way through. Hands up on the wheel. Very decisive in the e-brake pull. Relax, though. Look at that. You can see him smiling. He knows. He knows behind the wheel that this is just a great run. That transition, that completely sideways hop across the bump. I mean, man, so sick. This is the Nakamura. This is what we saw before.
Yeah.
This is the driver we watched growing up. Like, he's back to his roots again, having fun, enjoying the runs, and just throwing down, man.
He's found the car that he enjoys driving in Europe, and he's found
to be able to do that, keep the pace, do it along a concrete wall. Love it.
Oh wow! Look
Agreed.
at that, 93.75 for Nakamura. Drops him into second position at the moment. We're ready to rock and roll. The action is ready to get underway. The track is clear. The heavy machinery in the background just making its way off the track. The lights go amber and they go green, and Nakamura comes off the line, screams through the gears. Goes for a big flick across the circuit, right to the edge of the track. Wheel to curb and bumper to wall right now from Nakamura. Unscathed so far as he puts the hammer down now, starts to drive through the middle part of the circuit. Looks to go wide, and he certainly does. Spoiler over the wall for Nakamura. He's going for it right now, right to the edge of the tarmac. Nakamura's on an absolute flyer, big angle transition, puts it to the wall and across the line.
Every single square inch of this track, this man was just dominating through. That run was spicy. It was hard in the angles. It was right into the wall. It was using every single bit that he could find. This is up there. This has got to be up there, especially on the style side of things. I mean, for a driver that had a rough year, you could not tell anymore. This is right back to form. This is exactly why it was so exciting when he announced he was coming over. This is what you wanted. This is what I signed up for, is this type of driving. Nakamura, I mean, bringing such an amazing Japanese style to drifting. This is so quintessential Japanese drifting, right? Big, floaty style, but still aggressive. Wow, look at that. I mean, popping off the whole way through. What a great shot. Perfectly in focus, too. Such a hard thing to do. I'm just nerding out about everything.
Nakamura's like, what's going on? Where is it? Oh, it's a 97! Nakamura comes in third in qualifying at the moment. A 97. This man could be unstoppable this weekend. We know he's deadly at the... Right, well, here we go. It is time for a glimpse of what we're going to see tomorrow in Top 32. The action's been hot and heavy in qualifying. We've seen probably the greatest number of 90-point scores, and this is how it's going to work. It's going to the back end of the circuit as we see James Deane warm the tyres on the back of that Mustang RTR Spec 5 DM.
I like it. You got this nailed now.
I've got it nailed. Yeah, I've got it nailed. 1100 horsepower, naturally aspirated V8 with a little touch of nitrous that goes against 1000 horsepower Toyota GR86 2JZ. Nakamura, he's got the style, he's got the flair, but sometimes brings too much aggression. James Deane will be sitting on the line, the higher qualifier, lead them both out, as Nakamura will say, this is a chance for me to kind of see how these guys face off in Top 32. No more secrets to hide, no more sandbagging in practice. This is it, head-to-head, straight-up competition. Fresh tyres on the car, fresh fuel. Maybe not some fresh drivers, they'll be tired after that action, but here we go, through the gears they go, fire in, James Deane flexes the back end on the tyre wall, gets himself set up into the outside zone. Nakamura now finds himself on to the door of that Ford Mustang as they come through that inside zone. Deane looks for that out and now starts to open the throttle. Can he drive drive away? Certainly can. Nakamura, a little wobble, tries to find Deane. Deane goes wide, holds it onto the circuit just about. They both slow down for that final outside zone across the line.
That's what I was talking about earlier. I mean, James Deane is incredible, but he is not perfect. There are still mistakes that can happen. A little bit of timing, a little bit of change going on, but we'll rip things back here and see what all happened with James Deane, with Naoki Nakamura chasing him behind, who looked like he was starting to get gapped a little bit, but that might have been James Deane just crimping up that bit too much, and that's what ended up pushing him off track. Is Nakamura showing a bit of pressure there on James Deane right off the bat as they come through our inside clip, and a great transition from both drivers. Nakamura does an amazing job of timing that out, taking a little bit out of the line. Nakamura might have straightened there.
He did, yeah. I didn't see that before.
Yeah,
lost in a smoke trail, and only from the drone shot we actually got to see that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. There's so many different camera angles. I know our judges are going to be taking a pretty hard look at this to understand what all happened there. But yeah, James Deane going a little bit deep and throwing it into the dirt. Very rare, but it does happen. It just looks like he was carrying a bit too much momentum. Just going a little too spicy there as we swap him around.
Well, do mistakes weigh themselves out?
You've two fairly big mistakes.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
Might come down to this.
Still one half of the battle to go. It's going to be Nakamura to lead out James Deane for a spot in the final of the Showdown, the qualifying Showdown here at round 3, Drift Masters Finland, as they fire in to the outside zone. A little scrappy from Nakamura, and it has to wait for James Deane to make that dive onto the door as Nakamura now makes his way through outside zone 4. Deane times that transition perfectly, dials on the angle, almost couldn't slow the car down. Deane puts himself back into position, and Nakamura takes it to the wall.
Mistake can be hidden. That might be it.
Yeah.
That was wild. I mean, everything up until that point looked really good. Nakamura, he's got a good setup in this car. He's got to drive with a lot of aggression, a lot of style. And James Deane, typical chasing fashion, really trying to push the pace, trying to get that lead car to make a bit of a mistake as they come through that transition, that no-go zone, which chase driver, you know, that zone is meant to give the chase driver a little bit of room to come through. And then James Deane on that dive really has to check up and over-rotates a little bit back on throttle, but you can see that focus and maybe a bit of frustration leaking through the Irishman as he overcommits into that zone. That could have been it. That could have been the mistake.
I'm interested to see the judges' take on that, how they see Nakamura. Did they see Nakamura on that correct line? And James Deane and Naoki Nakamura jump out of the car, and not many words exchanged.
No.
Nakamura not speaking too much English. Okay. Definitely not a lot of Irish.
No, that's a whole other form of the language, that's for sure.
So there we go. Yeah, Nakamura just says he's way taller than me. That's all I've got.
Yeah. I mean, he is a very, very tall man. Two legends.
He's like a proud dad, James Deane.
Yeah, two legends of the sport, though. Super cool to see.
Well, here we go. Side left for Deane, right for Nakamura. Who's going to take it through? It's going to be Naoki Nakamura. Takes the win.
Wow.
Advances on to our qualifying Showdown final. And I would like to take a second, if I could, to jump over after we've seen our next runs and just find out with David Kalas after when we get a break, because he likes to talk for quite a while and he's going to want to explain this, so we'll get to that in a bit, but we will speak to David Kalas and find out exactly how that one went down. We're going to go back to the start.
Yeah, this will be a really interesting stylistic matchup. Just you've got one driver that's driving with an absolute ton of style.
Keep your head in the game. Try not to overdrive your lead line.
Right.
I think that could be a key. Not only for this, but for tomorrow in Top 32. We might be way wrong. We were kind of wrong earlier when we said qualifying wouldn't be this mad. And then we sat down and qualifying was this mad.
Yeah.
I think trying not to overdrive in the lead position or the chase position tomorrow is going to be a big factor when it's so easily done. Overdrive the car, do what James Deane did, go too far on the outside zone. Could that have been a bit of rain? Who knows?
Yeah. There's so many factors here. And when we know the driver's lead runs are all edging on perfection all the way through, this does become a chase game.
Yes.
And that's one of the coolest parts about having such an amazing qualifying is that now this really does come down to who can have the craziest chase. As we see Duane deciding to take the chase lane off the bat. So an interesting strategy here.
Yes.
Fresh tires off of the first chase.
Yes, exactly that. So if you're only just joining us, you never managed to join us at round 2 in Madrid in Spain, a new format that's been brought to Drift Masters for 2025 is that the higher qualifier can choose whether they lead or chase first.
I was just looking, Duane was like checking to see to make sure his helmet turns all the way.
Yeah.
That to me, he's like, okay, I want to make sure that I can look right
Big
over my
angle.
shoulder because I'm going to be on this man's door the whole run.
Well, there we go. So they pull to the line. Looks like they've got the thumbs up all around. Yet the anti-lag fires from both cars as they leave the line. It will be McKeever to chase down Nakamura for the qualifying showdown final here at round 3 in Finland. There's been a little bit of separation. Opens up now. McKeever starts to shut the door. McKeever caught out a little bit there by the pace of Nakamura as Nakamura goes deep into outside zone 4. Through the smoke comes Duane McKeever, though, keeps a hold of it as Nakamura fires on big angle with big pace as he puts it to the wall and across the line.
Interesting. I think what this comes down to is that both these cars are probably set up for qualifying. They're not really set up for tandem. And Duane McKeever, once again, never driven this car before and has to figure out, okay, how do I end up chasing with this? How do I get as close so we can see the rain starting to really come down now on the lens of that camera? But yeah, Duane McKeever playing it a little bit safe or just not able to get the speed out of it to keep up with Nakamura, who really has got a lot of pace in this car. So I think now that they swap things out, the question's going to be, did Nakamura really burn off a lot of tread? Does he have the tire left on the car to be able to keep up with Duane, who's going to have maybe a fresher set? So is this a little bit of strategy here from McKeever, who's thinking, okay, well, I'll play it a little bit safe, I'll save some tire, but then when I get out in the lead, I'm going to have everything. I can just throw this down and try and walk away from Nakamura. I don't know. Really don't know, but we'll see how it plays out.
This could be a game of strategy as well. We could see this play into effect tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. I really do think so. Listen, it's a heads-up game, but there is still a strategy involved in every single run.
And there we go, back on the line. McKeever to lead, Nakamura to give chase. Through the gears they go, down that start straight, flick to angle, and McKeever puts on big angle as he fires that car into that second outside zone. And look at this from Nakamura, he's not going to give up without a fight, that's for sure, as he now starts to dial on the angle, aggressive bites at the side of that S15. And McKeever leads him into outside zone 4, flexes the spoiler on the back of that S15, big speed from both guys. They keep a hold of it though as they fire through that second to last outside zone, on the wall, across the line.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I really feel like McKeever laid down a better lead run there, which kind of led to Nakamura really being able to chase well. So this is where we start to really contrast and compare and kind of add up exactly what happens in both sets of runs, because Duane laid down an absolute heater there in the lead, but Nakamura was, other than maybe 2 zones in the center section, absolutely dooring him all the way through. As McKeever's maybe biggest fan, getting a little nervous. Yeah.
Yep.
Getting nervous.
She's definitely his biggest fan.
Yeah. Oh, man, I really hope this is what we're going to see tomorrow, because this is
what I like about the qualifying showdown.
It's a taste.
It's a taste of what we're going to get to see tomorrow. It gives everyone an idea of how hard these guys are going to drive, how fast they're going to push. Where will they take the risks?
Yeah. And where can you take the risk? Like, what zone can you dive in on? What one do you have to be a little more patient? Where do you decide to make up that proximity?
Yeah, exactly that. Well, we're going to see that as it evolves all the way through to tomorrow. Nakamura points to McKeever and says, maybe he thinks that he got the win. Here we go, slide him left for McKeever, right for Nakamura. Who's going to win the qualifying showdown? Oh, it's a split decision, but it's Naoki Nakamura wins.
Wow.
The qualifying showdown as Nakamura takes the top step on the qualifying showdown and bags the most amount of points available, and he's super happy. And even McKeever says, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, Nakamura did everything he needed to do on both runs.